What is up, guys? Steve here from Nova Kettlebell Training. So this is going to be the first one. This is going to be a bit of a test in the World 2 reaction videos. Now, obviously, what we're going to be reacting is probably not going to be the same as what you may see in terms of TikTok videos or any of that sort of stuff. But we're going to be reacting to the sport I love, the sport you love, and that is kettlebell lifting. So this is the first one. Let's see how it goes. And I wanted to get something that is really recent and something just to sort of just play about with this format, really. And as a coach, for me, the biggest thing is trying to explain what it is that I'm looking for when I'm trying to improve my athlete's technique. So when I'm kind of looking at what my idea of good is, you know, all of us coaches have a different idea of what good is. We've got different coaching bandwidths. We've got different types of techniques or things that we want our athletes to try and achieve. So I do watch a lot of competition video, a lot of competition footage, and it's all about just trying to see what are the commonalities between a lot of the different lifters. What's the commonalities between an elite level result compared to somebody who is relatively new or is not as experienced, you know? So I like to look right across the board. What is the common principles that they are adhering to help them get the most out of their lifting? And then I can take that, present that, and coach that to my athletes. And I think the key thing with all of this in my coaching experiences is I'm always looking for the principles. I'm not going to be trying to get all my athletes to lift like some of the great lifters out there. I'm not going to get everybody to copy my technique. All I'm looking for is what are the key principles of successful kettlebell lifting that then I can pass on to my athletes. And for you guys watching, you know, hopefully today we're going to be able to expose or look for some commonalities in there that you can take into your own training. And that is what it's all about. So competition that I've got up is from a World Cup series in Russia in September, I believe it was. So let's jump in. This is 85 kg bodyweight class, 85 kg plus bodyweight class. So these are some of the bigger boys of lifting. So let's get stuck straight into it. So first thing that I do want to say, though, guys, is obviously this competition, there's a lot of athletes on this platform that I don't really know their names of, but there is one person on the screen that if you are interested in kettlebell lifting, you will probably know who that guy is, and that is the main man himself, Ivan Markov. So the absolute world champion in biathlon. He has the best results on the planet in jerk, and his biathlon sums are just crazy. And he's only getting better, you know. Apart from, I don't like his dance moves. Ivan, if you're watching this, you need to learn some better dance moves, mate. I'm not a big fan, but there you go. There you go. Let's get stuck straight into this. Okay. I'm kind of thinking, right,
кандидат в мастера спорта.
What is happening right
Представляет Кировскую область.
And the biggest thing that I can see
Чемпион Кировской области тренируется под руководством Маркова Евгения Игнатьевича.
Typically what you see with a lot of lifters
На втором помосте
in the West
Черков Леонид, кандидат в мастера спорта, 2003 год рождения, представитель Калужской области, прилет Калужской 2022 года. Тренируется под руководством Гурова. 1 минута.
It's very straight up, straight down, real nice bell path. You know, there's no double movement.
Мастер спорта международного класса, спортсмен 1995 года рождения, представляет команду Санкт-Петербург.
Groff, really cool guy. Won't stick a pair of wolves in his hands though. In Germany, yeah, wasn't a big fan.
Заслуженный мастер спорта.
But really good pace, real fast pace.
Представляет Белгородскую, является победителем первенства мира.
And actually, as you watch this, the key thing I'm looking at here is
Сергей Иванович.
The different the head for me is kind of happening with both the mechanics of their shoulders. So basically, you might have some guys who've got their head straight forward, and you can kind of see when they lock out, they've got a real nice straight arm, biceps by the ear kind of position. They've either got really good shoulder mobility or just kind of the makeup they've got. Whereas if we have a little look at some other athletes, if we have a look over the second from the right there, they're looking straight up, and we've got the athlete on platform number 1 as well, looking straight up. So whether that is a mobility issue, whether that's a restriction, whatever it may be, that's kind of the things that we've got to consider. Is certain athletes are able to get in fantastic positions. But we don't want to be chasing one ideal position all of the time, like thinking biceps need to be by the ears straight up. I've seen Alexei Rybakov, one of the lower weight lifters, he looks straight up and his shoulders look slightly forward. But the guy's an absolute beast, still knocking out fantastic results. And you're kind of thinking, right, okay, this is why we need to go back to kind of the key principles of lifting here. So sometimes I don't get too hung up on where is the arm position unless the elbow is struggling to lock out. And the reason why I try and focus on that one a little bit is because typically you'll be looking at something's going on with biceps or within the pectoral muscle, which kind of stops that elbow extension going up. And it's something that typically happens with athletes who typically get a little bit older. You can kind of see that bend in the elbow. I've seen it quite a few times with my guys as they kind of get older. Everything starts to become a little bit shortened, so they struggle to really lock out. But these guys, everyone's fully extending their elbows, and you can kind of see that phenomenal lifting. And look, is so under tension. It's something that a lot of lifters do struggle with, is being able to relax the quads. So when you are watching these elite lifters, just look, they don't stand up out of the second dip. They pull the legs back, and because they pull the legs back, that's what a lot of lifters try to do, is that they try and teach it like an overhead squat. So when they stand up, they squeeze the quads, which sort of shifts the weight forward, and it allows them not to relax. And you've got to think that is a lot of time where the quads are going to kind of burn out. And these are the things that are sending the bells upwards. So if you're burning them out with loads and loads of tension in overhead position, rack position, etc., it's really, really going to hold you back further down the line. So we're getting around about the half now. Vladimir Gurov and Ivan Markov going kind of head to head, 3-4 reps in it, as Ivan starts to kind of pull away a little bit. I think what's really interesting about Ivan's technique, he's a really tall guy. He's got real long legs, long arms. But again, the way he's able just to manipulate his way around the bells is the reason why he's one of the best lifters on the planet. You know, and I think that stands testament to kind of the base he's been able to build over the years. And every time you watch him, he just puts on an absolute masterclass of relaxation, determination, and great lifting, you know. So another thing that I always like to look at for these guys, and it's one thing that I say to my guys all, is if you want to win, if you really want to win a kettlebell sport, and you want to master it. And when I talk about winning, I'm talking about, like, you know, beating your best results. But the one thing that always wins for me is second dip. Okay. If your second dip is right, second dip is what wins the competitions all the time. So these guys are over 5 minutes in now, typically where a lot of fatigue tries to set in. Your lower back starts to burn, your upper back, your shoulders, your traps, quads. This is when you start to get that little bit of afferent feedback from muscles going, whoa, we're working hard here, you know, and that's sending that signal to the brain, and the brain's like, this is starting to get tough. We're in danger now, so maybe we should think about putting it down. One thing that I always love, and have never been able to master it myself, never been able to master it, it's a pain in my ass, but there you go, is how these guys stay consistent with their second dip. If you could look at their first rep compared to their last rep, 9 times out of 10, the elite athletes have still got an amazing second dip. And it's not a forced one. It's almost just like a reaction. It's like a jump. And this is why I love utilizing jumps and for teaching athletes and trying to think, we're not trying to muscle the bells up. We just want to use enough energy to send the kettlebells above our head. And we want to make sure that we are elastic, we are springy, and we are pulling our hips down so we can get under the bells. But have a little look at this, guys. I mean, it's absolutely incredible when I think, like, all the years that I've been training, and maybe it's just testament of how crap I am. But there you go. I'll let you guys decide. But look at the second here. Be incredible. So you can see here when they're hitting second dip, it's not muscle. They are not muscling it down. They are. It's a reaction. They load, explode, send the kettlebells up, and then they drop themselves back down under it. And I think it's an incredible skill. Really is an incredible skill. The man just passed the 100 rep mark in 6 minutes, which is just obscene. It really is obscene. I'm still trying to chase 100 reps in 10 minutes, so that pretty much puts everything into perspective for me. So we're starting to get a little bit tired now. Obviously, you've got a few of the guys. We've got the guy on platform number 5 on 89 reps there. Start to see it's starting to get really, really challenging. The key things here, the knees start to drift forward, start to bend in rack position. So although he's sending it up, you kind of look at when he first started, he's starting to kind of buckle. We're not able to hold that nice tall posture. So as he starts to drop, and the thing is when his knees drop, what's going to happen is as he rolls forward into first dip, because his knees are already bent, he's probably going to go a little bit further forward, roll, which then makes it actually harder to send the bells up because you're no longer going from more of a vertical action. Because the knees are buckled, it's going to roll forward. So then the kettlebells, instead of going up, they're going out and then back. And I think that's something that a lot of lifters are sometimes not aware of, is if your first dip is so big, it's shifting your body weight so far forward that when you send the kettlebells up, you're going to be kind of going out and then coming back, which again puts a lot of strain on the shoulders. It's not the best bell path, and it typically makes life a lot harder for yourself. look at the first rep, the set. Van's actually speaking now. Absolute phenomenal athlete into that kind of flow, and it's incredible. I think one thing that I was looking at as well, and again it goes back to those principles, is have a look. Okay, have a look at the hill in first. Always coaching it out, my guys are my coaching over the years, but some guys just try and have such a massive heel lift, and they try and extend the balance, not able to. So have a look at the heel lift. The heel lift's massive. Oh, triple extension. And triple extension's great for like big explosive actions, one-offs. Look at like Olympic lifters. We look at jump athletes in athletics. You know, triple extension is the thing that we always kind of chase in the world of sports performance. But in kettlebell sport, remember the goal is repeat in power outputs. We want to be able to sustain this power output for over long periods of time. So although we want good triple extension, we're not kind of looking for massive triple extension. We want triple extension, hip, knee, ankle. But what happens is when people try and focus too much on the ankle aspect and really driving up and getting onto the toes, I find in my experience, a lot of people end up actually bypass extending so much at the knee. So when the ankle goes up, the knee is still kind of flexed. It's not fully extended, which then means that they're leaving results on the table. They're not pushing the kettlebells up through the rest of the quads. You know, that is a powerful muscle group. If you look at the way it's designed, the pronation angles and what the quadricep is designed to do, it's a massively powerful group. So you want to make sure that you're utilizing that and not trying to push all the way through the calves. And the thing is the higher you come up on your toes, if you stand up now out of your chair and you try and get on your toes, what's going to happen? You know, you're going to start losing your balance. The more you're on your toes, the more that your body weight is probably going to shift slightly forward. Well, if you've got weights in your hands and you're shifting forward, what is then going to have to happen? Your body is then going to have to wrestle those bad boys back, and they're going to have to work twice as hard and almost pull yourself back with the bells, which again is just time that we just want to be trying to stay as vertical as we can, getting the bells up and down. You know, you can see Guros there really, really struggling. This guy is probably the most mentally I've seen on a platform. Incredible determination, incredibly strong. I think he competed as a powerlifter in his early days. Incredibly strong, phenomenal. But look at Van Markov now, 142 in just under 9 minutes. It's just obscene. Like it's absolute crazy. You know, we're coming up to the last minute now. Even have a look at Van's.
Пошла последняя минута.
This position coming up to the last minute. So look at these guys here. They're still standing the time. You know, we've got a few wobbly elbows. The bell path's not as great as we start to get fatigued. Platform number 1 is gone. Platform number 6, still pushing through. Platform number 5, even though he's rolling forward, still getting some great results in. Platform number 2, great lifting. Oh, great lifting. Anyway, I don't even know what. Have a look at that. That is his refocus. It's massive. It goes back to what I was saying. Your heel lift doesn't need to be a massive, massive extension. Focus on keeping the heels down and try it. And I'm not saying do push press. Let the heels lift, but let that be a byproduct of the hips and the knees extended, which pulls it up, which allows you to get down. If you focus too much on sending the bells up, guess what? You do not have enough time to get those hips back and down. And Ivan's doing this great. I mean, look at this. Look at these reps. Don't we all? Don't we all? I certainly don't accelerate like this. I can accelerate like this on a minute on, minute off, and as long as there's nothing else on the end of it. Guros finished there. 136 reps, great lifting. 165 reps for Ivan Markov. That is absolutely fantastic. And the guys don't even look tired. If anybody's ever watched me compete, I'm kind of dying. I'm wheezing. I'm kind of hunched over. I want the world to swallow me up, and it's not a nice place to be. Not a nice place to be. So, guys, that was my first reaction video to some awesome kettlebell lifting by the 85 kilo bodyweight plus category out in Russia in a competition that they did back in September 2022. So, key things. Always look for principles. When you're looking at this, you're looking at the lifting. I always look at the heel lift. I look at the consistency of second dip, where guys are fatiguing, what are they breaking down, so then we can start to address that in the training. But that's just my opinion. I want to know your opinion, guys. So drop your comments in the section below. Let me know what you're thinking. Do you look for something different? Was there something that I mentioned in there that you probably haven't considered before? Is there something that you're saying, hey, Steve, that is a load of BS and this is why? Drop it in the comment section. If you like these videos, guys, if you like me doing a bit of an explainer of what I'm looking for in some of the kettlebell videos that I watch in the competitions around the world, let me know. And is there a video that you want me to react to? Is there anything out there? A snatch video, world record, certain type of lifting? Let me know in the comment section. Truly appreciate you guys. Have an awesome one. I've enjoyed this. This has been fun. Just love watching kettlebell lifting, sharing the love for kettlebell sport with you guys. So, all the best. Have a good one. Keep on lifting.